What up? What up? We will get this party started in just one moment. Hey, Peter, I just saw you left me a message, buddy. You want to drop it right here in the comments? I'll go ahead and answer it for you. I didn't get a chance to read it. I'm sorry. Hooty hoo. Miss Kitty, what's up? Recuperating from back surgery. Yikes. What happened? What'd they do to your back? What'd you have to have done? Oh, just thinking about it's making my back hurt. AD, what's going on? Patricia. Anthony, how are you doing? Always good to see you, Anthony. You're one of those faces that's been there since I started all this. I like those familiar faces. Cindy, hello. Handsome Can't, you are handsome. Is that you? It's a cool hat, too. Vancouver, big up to Vancouver. Always wanted to go to Vancouver. Miss Kitty Marbles, how you guys doing? Oh, almost missed Derek. What's up, Derek? Yeah, man, I'm feeling a little bit better. Had some Taco Bell. I know it's nasty, but had some of that delivered. Had some ganja. I finally feel good enough to smoke. I don't know. I was hesitant. When you mess with COVID, you never know when it's going to be like bronchial. So I don't want to mess with my lungs until, I feel like until they're up to par. Yikes, mini pinch nerves. Well, I hope you're feeling better. And I hope you have a speedy recovery. Take it easy too. Let your body heal. Night Shadow, what's up? How you doing? All right, here's Peter's question. Do you think KK will get charged soon in retaliation to Delphi? And Tony, I think KK involved, but won't get charged as he helped get Richard Allen. Honestly, I don't think he was involved in the Delphi murders. I just think he has information. And the information might get people that are close to him in trouble. No reason to do that, unless they can promise him that he won't be charged. So he's either was willing to help with the search at least in exchange for immunity. That might have been enough. But we know that everything pertaining to him being taken into ISP custody, we know that that's all going to be sealed and labeled as confidential. So we'll never have that information until it's all said and done. But I do think that he knows who the killer was. And I also think that's why he might have been looking it up so much when he was in Las Vegas. There may be nothing to the whole Las Vegas thing. I don't know. I have a feeling there is. Because for the last 6 years, we've racked our brains on what could possibly motivate somebody to do something like this. When you have a man like Doug Carter like shaking in his panties, like, man, this is really bad. We're talking about a seasoned professional here. And he's asking for you guys for the media to be patient. What would motivate somebody to do something like that? Oh, I'm so sorry, kitty. Until the bunny dropped by with some goodies. Ooh. Oh, I know what you're talking about. I'm having me some goodies right now. Hey, what's up, Charlie? Yeah, I've had some friends who go up there and hang out. And they're like, dude, you gotta go, you gotta go. Chopper, what's up? Oh, nice. Some me time. Shout out to Chopper and his me time. Good for you, man. It's the little things. Don't forget that. Purdue, what's good? Always good to see you, Purdue. It's always good to get a professional opinion. Follow up. Also, if KK had information on Richard Allen, knew that. Why didn't he hide whatever was found in his house? Well, if you listen to him, he really believes that he's innocent. Like, yeah, somebody used the fake profile most likely in the Delphi murders, and that ended up leading to him. He's like, well, I'm going to get charged with all this stuff anyway. Why do I need to snitch on anybody? I did this. It's not my fault. It's not the killer's fault that I got in trouble for a crime that I actually committed. They didn't charge him in the Delphi murders. They're charging him with the crap that he actually did. He's like, yeah, I did it. He's like, I didn't realize it was that bad, but I did it. But the truth is, this whole time he knows damn well who committed that murder or who was involved. He knows who was talking to Libby, in my opinion. Let's go ahead and put that out there in the forefront there. In my opinion, between the 3rd and the 12th, the killer was communicating with Libby by way of the Anthony Shots account. Now, if they established their own line of communication or whatever, and maybe that's why he went and logged in and logged out of the account. No, I have no clue. But I do believe it was through the Anthony Shots account that the killer was communicating with them. And maybe Kagan just knew, like, hey, yeah, he was talking to this girl Libby, but that's all I know. And then I'm in Vegas, and then all of a sudden they end up dead. He's going to be like, damn, And maybe it wasn't Richard Allen. Maybe it was somebody else who was with Richard Allen, communicating with these girls and was like, hey, and then recruited Richard Allen. But it is most likely that it was Richard Allen, and he has a connection to the Klein residence. Richard Allen's mother-in-law is very ill. His brother used to take care of her. And according to his obituary, he was this really good guy. He took very good care of his mother. These guys didn't do anything wrong. It's a very well-read obituary, but he happened to die just a few months prior to the crime. And it's my understanding that it went from this guy taking care of his mother to now needing somebody to take care of him and somebody to take care of the mother. And I think that fell on Richard Allen's wife's shoulders. So this could have been an extremely stressful time for them. And we know that's usually what precedes a murder is some type of stress, So if he's going through all this stress, right? And his wife is spending a lot of time in Peru taking care of people. Maybe that means he's spending time in Peru at that time. If my wife's busy, let me go hit up my old pal. You know, who knows? It could be that simple. He's been married since he got out of high school. He married his high school sweetheart. So that means the second he got married, he was pulled from that whole like single life and uh, going out with his friends alone, without the wife and all that stuff. You put all that behind you. So if his wife's completely distracted with her hands full, and he was on death's doorstep, uh, Richard Allen's brother-in-law, horrible motorcycle accident, and he didn't survive. So you wonder what could make a guy who's never committed a crime before, no DNA in the database, what would make him snap? Well, we look at him reporting that he's kind of having signs of psychosis and things like that while he's in prison. Maybe that's what he was going through at that time. Some type of episode, you know. And we were talking earlier today in the Discord, the members only Discord, about. I remember we spoke to JP, and he said, "Yeah, I was interviewed, and they asked me, hey, what were you doing down there taking pictures? And they said something to you, they made fun of you, and you just snapped." So we know the questions that they're asking in those interviews, through our work, through the work that we've done on the channel. We've discovered these things. We've discovered that they're asking people, did the girls make fun of you? And did you snap? Now, one thing that we've learned from Becky Patty and Mike Patty is that Libby, I don't know if it was Abby as well, but we know that Libby would like to kind of take these little secret videos of people that were kind of strange and kind of clown on them. It's harmless. Kids being kids. But why are they asking in these interviews, hey, did the girls make fun of you and you snapped? Is that something that's maybe on a recording somewhere? And with that scenario, you can completely remove the whole like Anthony shots thing out of there. That theory, you don't need the Anthony shots. You just need him being at the bridge coincidentally at the same time, and everything just looking very suspicious as far as the timing. But really it's just a coincidence that they happen to cross paths with a very volatile person at that time, maybe. Hey, Mother of Dragons, what's up? Yeah, I feel like I'm about 60%. I thought I was gonna go back up because my stomach started feeling really weird, but then I got some food in me. Hey, Richard, good to see you, buddy. How you doing? Mother of Dragon says, I agree, he knows. Yeah, he doesn't have to. It doesn't have to be this huge conspiracy snuff thing. The reason we come up with these theories is because we're trying to wrap our mind around it. Like, what the hell would motivate these people to do something like this? So you got to think, well, nobody in their right mind would do something like this. Okay. Well, first thing I think about are these recent reports. Richard Allen having delusions, and how do we know he wasn't in that mind frame? Like, what if he was planning to jump off the bridge or something? You know? Yeah, we don't know what like state of mind he was in. Rory, what's up? And law enforcement should have known about the chats from some guy named Anthony. Beck told them. Yeah, I think they did. But you got to remember, there's going to be hundreds of conversations. You know, they got all these names, and Anthony Shots is just a needle in a haystack right then and there. Maybe, maybe not. You know, maybe from the beginning they said, "Hey, look, it's possible they were meeting this person, and you know, this is the guy you need to look out for." So it is very possible. And then they just made up, you know, the whole ski mask thing. But me personally, doubtful, because I don't think they were thinking it was some kind of online thing, you know, because I'm sure they saw the communication with Kelsey where she spoke to Anthony Shots and he was like, OMG, you know. I don't think there would be any red flags. What red flag was there? Other than maybe Max coming forward and being like, yeah, said she was meeting a 19-year-old. And then from that point, they started their investigation and were taking strategic steps to mislead, you know, strategically mislead the public or the killer, and it affecting the public just as a byproduct. What's up? We got Apple, Vic. Who am I missing? I think that's everybody. Let me go ahead and just play this real quick intro music, and then we'll start talking some shit.
Blood money went by the name of
Gray Hughes.
Money, 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 money,
What's up, Rappy? Fire in the bowl. Short. Let's read this comment here from As Above, So Below. Sup, Sleuth? I'll say this. It was planned to happen at this bridge, which could very well be the truth. Nothing was random. Doesn't appear to be random. They disappear, then a lot of physical evidence shows up. A lot. Yeah, I mean the timing and I'm not quite sure because I don't know. Because the truth is he could have been, yeah, maybe he was planning on jumping off that bridge. Would you die if you fell off that bridge head first? Is it high enough? For those of you who've been there, is that a place like, you know, somebody who is depressed or whatever would do something silly like that? Karen, in an isolated small town, There'd be plenty of coincidences of people running into each other at different locations, such as a store, gas station, especially close living. Because if you look at that image of Richard Allen where he's sitting on his son-in-law's lap, he doesn't look like he's all there. He looks like he's already like part of a hospital. He looks like a patient. Either that or like an outpatient. He looks like he does in jail right now. All skinny and shit. Miss Kitty 213 is asking, any news on the 2 girls found in the retainment pond near the homeless encampment here in Mesa? Yeah, they're saying it was they're ruling it as accidental, but they're keeping the case open. They cited extreme I wish I could remember the wording. Let me pull it up. Yeah, so drowning in the setting of acute alcohol intoxication and recent marijuana use. Which is, I think, complete bullshit. That's just my opinion. In my opinion, it really depends. And this is the Cameron Myers and Sitlali Avalar case she's referring to. To me, it really depends on the weather. Now, they were kind of in a retention area. It was designed to take floodwaters. And here in Arizona, we do have flash floods. I mean, is that like something people have everywhere? I don't know. But here, like, people die from it. You can have a rainstorm 50 miles away on top of some distant mountain, and it'll come knock you down, while you're hiking somewhere far from there. Some tidal wave coming down with no hope of surviving if you're in the path. Oh, yeah. I'm still very sick, but my energy levels are up. I'm going to take advantage of it. Plus, we have a live stream on Channel 2 tonight. "60 feet tall." Yeah, you would die, in my opinion. I mean, even taking the water into consideration, I know it's only 2 feet deep. What's up, Frank? Sylvia. Hi, Sleuth. Welcome back. Glad you're doing better. Good vibes. Thank you so much. I feel like all the good vibes were like helping. Like I can almost like feel them. It was crazy. I'd get like these little boosts of energy. If you will it, it is not a dream. Hey, what's up to Grizz? Good to see you, buddy. See, that's what I'm thinking, Shay. She's like, you're just gonna break some bones. Yeah, I'm wondering if you just like shatter your legs. I guess the question is, out of all the places that you can go to in that area, and you're thinking that way, like you're going to end it all, is that a place you would go to and maybe show up there on a Monday thinking nobody's going to be there? But instead, you run into these rambunctious girls, at the exact wrong time in his mind. And this could be the part that law enforcement is keeping close, which is the same in the Evansdale case. They haven't really released specific details on the sexual assault aspect of the crime. But if we read the Erskine text, right, he says that there was none. And that could have been done to mislead. I don't know. But what if it was done out of anger? And what's funny, before Richard Allen was arrested, did you guys remember me interviewing a guy named Julian Powell? Do you remember he said he showed up about 3 p.m.? I don't know, what did he say? Like 3:30? He said 3:30-ish. He says the shift started at 4, so it would have been around 3:34-ish. And some guy walked by him. And I was like, "Did you say anything to him?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think I said something like, 'Hey.'" It just struck me that timing is pretty good. He may have walked right by that dude. So if that was him and he walked by him, does that mean that, well, let's just entertain it if it is him. Does that mean that at some point Richard Allen got back onto the trail system? Is that how he got back to his car? Pops out of the cemetery, seen on the 303 right somewhere nearby, cuts through the field, Ron Logan's field. Is that the Mears field or is that Ron Logan? Gets back onto the trail and then makes his way back. Maybe even like ducking and hiding, because there's a small space between the trail and the what is that, 300, I think is the name of that road. There's a small space of trees that I think you might be able to kind of duck and hide through if you need to. Even if you need to lay down, oh, car's coming, lay flat. Oh, I see somebody, get down on your knee and just kind of hide. What's up, Secret Agent Dracula Jones? Can I call you Count? Why don't you turn off and go to bed? No, I have a bunch of energy. Sleuth Intuition, when Steve on? We're going to have Steve on the 19th at 9 p.m. Eastern time. So that's a Wednesday for members only. He's kind enough to bless us with his presence. And it sounds like he's going to give us his ear and maybe some extra time. So have some really good questions for him. He sounds like he wants to talk about multiple cases. We know he's looking deep into Koberger right now and some other cases. We know that he did his own experiments and testing and using his skills as a retired homicide investigator himself, visiting Delphi and conducting these results just shortly prior to Richard Allen being arrested. So I'd like to ask him, what are your thoughts on the experiments and the things that you were doing there compared to where we're at now? So I would like to dive into that quite a bit and get his opinion on that. I mean, we could probably spend an hour on that question alone. Dreaming is free. I park my car all over the place to walk for exercise. Yeah, so he backs in though at the CPS building. You know, I mean, I back in because I have a truck. It's just easier that way. Why did he back in his little Ford Focus? Okay, we can look past that. But why is he walking with purpose to the bridge? That's the part that gets me and kind of has me leaning towards a premeditated. But like I said, if he's out there and he's distressed and he's manic and going through some kind of episode, you know, under these high stress situations. It's too many S's for me. Judy Bodine says, I'm really thrown by the following. The suspects had 1 hour, 45 minutes, potentially with the girls in broad daylight, knowing these girls had a pickup time scheduled with the parent. I don't know if they knew. I don't know if the killer knew that they would be picked up at a certain time. But you would assume, yeah, you know, well, maybe not. Because you want to assume that Libby was talking directly to Anthony Schott saying, hey, okay, like maybe even asking, like, when are you going to be there? Or let's say Richard Allen gets to the trail, and as soon as he gets there, he texts Libby, you know, as Anthony Schott and says, hey, I'm here. Because we know he got there at 1:27-ish, and we know that they left the Patty residence at 1:30 or shortly after. To me, that timing is just hard to overlook, right? Like, hey, I'm here. If you guys want to come, like, you need to come now. You know, playing this character, this handsome, what was he, like a Calvin Klein model? Chopper says, remember when Tobe said he has heard that voice before? Maybe he meant Richard Allen. I think he was speaking hypothetically. I think that's kind of, when he said it, the way I took that was, if you take it out of context, it kind of seems like that. But I think what he was doing was, this is what he wanted us to do, or the people of Delphi or Carroll County or somebody who might recognize him. You know, they want them to ask themselves that question. You know, I know, or that's something they might say to themselves. What's up, Casper? Fish is the clue, looking at catfish. Yeah, he said he was there to look at the fish. Yeah, he almost came in like a disguise. But at the same time, I don't know what he was doing before that. Maybe he was coming from somewhere and he's like, this is it. Karen said he wouldn't try to off himself. He's a coward. I don't believe you go from killing yourself. What was he doing there? I don't believe any of this. I'm just trying to go down every avenue. Because this whole time I've been thinking that this is a premeditated crime because he's walking with purpose and he's parking his car a certain way and he's going right past potential victims and heading directly where Abby and Libby ended up. So it seems premeditated. But if you can start to strip all that away, maybe it is just a chance encounter. But the evidence is not pointing at that, especially because they're asking for others involved. We know the timeline with Kagan, Klein, and the Anthony Shots account. The evidence doesn't point at that at all. If anything else, it points in the opposite direction. But how many curveballs is this case going to throw at all of us interested folks? Charlie Murphy, I wonder if JP saw Richard Allen or Flannel Shirt Guy. I don't know. Wouldn't that be crazy if he did? Because he's like, according to his timeline, he was there around anywhere between 3:30 and 4, right? So that would line up. But that's the same time that I think Libby's father was walking. Could have passed him too. Shoot, or somebody, one of the people from the couple under the bridge. There's a whole group of people there. But yeah, could have been Flannel Shirt Guy too. Hey, what's up, V? Hey, Sleuth, did you catch the document leaker? Yeah, I caught that on video. We're going to show that tonight. He's a young guy. Who's a young cat? Was he 21? Part of the Air Force or something? Maybe it might even have been the Naval Academy. I'm not sure. I just watched it like an hour ago, but I was a little bit distracted. Steve could answer the death by Monon idea. Yeah, I think he's going to answer a lot of questions, or maybe help put a lot of crap to rest. You know, we get lost in La La Land sometimes. I wouldn't be surprised if Julian P knows all these people. I don't know. There's nothing to suggest that. Really, the only thing shocking was just him just admitting to being there and then people being suspicious of him prior. So, but he's been interviewed twice. He's tried to help. So, if he's involved, I mean, I don't see that. I don't see it. Maybe, shoot. Maybe that's why he didn't go to work. Maybe somebody called him and told him to pick him up. A lot of what ifs with no evidence to back it up. Speculation. And smoked weed with some too. Late, but I'll catch up. Hey, Rescue. Good to see you. The Springfield 3. What the fuck is that? Is that a shoddy? Ellen Robinson, coincidental, but what about staging? Well, from my understanding, there's only a few reasons for staging. One is you know the victim and you're trying to make it look like you don't. Two, well, I guess there's only two reasons. This is going further into that first part. Yeah, you're just trying to mislead law enforcement, right? Like, oh, look, I'm some crazy devil worshiper. Or no, yeah, and the second one would be actual ritual killings. And then the third one would be shock value. And there is another thing that suggests two perpetrators. Um, but what leads me to that is once again the Erskine stuff, those text messages. Can we believe those? Do you guys believe those? Here, let me put up a poll real quick. Give me one moment. I'm teaching myself not to lean too much on, all this rumor stuff. Because, I mean, it could be maybe he thought he was being strategic. He sat down with investigators. They're like, yeah, make sure you don't release any of this information. So one day, he's sipping back on the cough medicine and he starts, texting somebody thinking it's private. And he thinks he's doing good by sending misleading information. You always have this weird human element to everything. That's why unless you don't have anything to hold in your hand, to carry, I like to shake stuff in people's face like, "What? What about this?" It's always better when you have something factual and then something to back that up. Damn, I have way too many windows open. Surprised my internet can even handle that. What the hell was I doing with all that? It's all this political shit. All right. There you go. All right. You guys hit up that poll real quick for me if you could. We're going to bounce right off that question. Yeah, Sylvia, how you doing? It's going to be a great show. He's a very professional dude. I like that. Parking at the CPS and walking with purpose seem to point at premeditation. Yeah, but what if he just wanted his car to kind of sit there unnoticed for a while? Got a beef, eat a pork chop. Tony N. Dang, bro, where you been? Thought you fell off the map, dude. Glad Sleuth is on. So is the raid related? Do we know yet? I don't know. Who knows? Arch brought up a good point. He said, shit, we didn't know. Richard Allen got arrested. His house was raided on the 13th, and we didn't know anything about it until like the 26th? And then we had to wait, even more time for an official answer. So yeah, if it is related, it's possible we won't know. But I mean, just because someone's getting raided doesn't mean that it's part of the Delphi case. But the timing, shortly after discovery for the defense, they start coming up with all this crazy shit, and then the guy gets raided. Yeah, I mean, it's stuff like that and the timing like that is, it does make me take a second look. Hey, Freckled. I'm home for a few days. Good to see you. Where's the pic of Richard Allen sitting on lap? Did I hear that right? Yeah, I guess I should pull it up, huh? We can talk about Richard Allen. We've been talking about him all day. What was he doing the days, weeks, and months prior to this? And that's when I learned all this stuff about him and his brother dying in September of 2016. And I guess I don't know how long he was fighting for his life, but he had a motorcycle crash and I think he was in really bad shape. I always want to give people the benefit of the doubt. Oh, here it is. Yeah, this is a weird picture anyway. Like I apologize to this, what's his name? His son-in-law, but I blocked out his face, so it's all good. Doesn't he look skinny? Oh, you got a fucking turkey neck going on. He kind of looks a little bit like the young guy sketch. Here, let me find the most recent one where he's in that wheelchair, looking all pathetic and shit. Time to reorganize all this stuff. It's all scattered about. I'll just grab it off the interwebs. Look at that. First one that pops up. Very strategic, Mr. Rosie. That's to you, sir. Little tip of the hat. Yeah, he looks the same. Just shaved. The fuck? There we go. Doesn't seem much different. Except right here, kind of. Well, I guess it's kind of hidden by his beard. Here, let's do this. I'm going to pull up the young guy sketch. Oops. Find that photo again. I lost it. There it is. P says, why does no one listen to what Brad Heath said? He was there seeing a car on the side of the road in between the building and the trail, stated there was never a car at the building. Well, he didn't say that there was never a car at the building. He said that's not the car that he reported. He also said that a buddy of his that works at the facility that's kind of just across the street said that that same vehicle that Brad Heath reported was actually up at the other parking lot, kind of overlooking everything from a distance. Yeah, that was Greg Hughes' interview. I think it was in 2021. It's a good one. That was a good one. Damn, Jerry. Thank you. What's good, pimpin'? Always good to see you. Hey, Tech. What's good? I appreciate that. Sees through. Hello. At 1:27 p.m., both girls were doing work for Becky. They never even knew they were going to the bridge until Kelsey walked in the office to leave for her boyfriend's. No, they left at 1:30. They got to the bridge at like 1:40 something. That's a fact. This was planned. He was hired for security to move the girls. I think an additional person was involved. You do not wake up one day at 45 years old and murder two girls, in my opinion, stress or not. Yeah. I mean, I think it's possible. Is it likely? I think is the better question. I don't know that. I don't think they've rescheduled it yet. I'll have to take a look. I'm gonna look it up right now. Bam. Let's see. So it looks like June 15th, 2023. That can't be right. So they have the emergency motion filed. And I heard he was already transported. I don't know. I haven't been able to verify that. I just was watching some news report and they said he had already been moved. And I figured if they filed a motion, they're going to have a hearing, right? If they're going to have a hearing, he needs to be present. So they're going to bring him to Carroll County anyway, right? To be part of the hearing, I'm assuming. What do I know, guys? Honestly. If you guys look at this image here, it looks like if his hair grows out, it might be kind of curly. What do you think? Or am I tripping? So if he was a mess, maybe his hair was really long. What about the possibility he's wearing headphones? What's up, Todd? All right. Sorry about that. It was my daughter. She gets all my attention. Let's see. In my opinion, law enforcement used the Abby and Libby murders as as a CSAM investigation, hoping it would be lead to the Delphi killer. I don't think it did. Yeah, and it may not have, honestly. We don't have 100% proof, but if we take everything about this case and you lay it down in front of you and you really map it out, I mean, it really is one domino after the other. And I said, as soon as they had time for discovery, they're going to advise him that if he has information, that it's time to fall onto the next domino. Hopefully we're at that stage now. And that's why we're seeing all these shenanigans like this. Yeah, and he might have had some scruff, you know what I mean? He might have looked just like this. Here, let's do this. That's probably what he looked like, guys. Whoops. Damn, why does it look like that? Okay, there we go. So what I did here is I took the Delphi motion video that ISP put up on their website of Libby's video, and I kind of pulled out different parts of the color spectrum or the light spectrum or whatever and layered them. So it would kind of bring out all of the features on Bridge Guy. I didn't move them, I didn't edit them, I didn't change them. I just adjusted the coloring and the lighting on them and layered them. And I think I put them all at like 10% transparency. It's about I think 50 layers maybe, close to. Seems a little scruffy, huh? Especially right there in that one. Yeah, Charlie, he does look like the young guy sketch shaved. I agree with that. I wouldn't say he looks like him, but yeah, there's a resemblance there. The facial features and the weird nose. So yeah, I agree with that. Yeah, he was like wearing khakis and stuff, huh? I did notice that. Maybe he never wore jeans. Maybe this is a disguise. It's my understanding that he drank beer. Well, I guess, yeah, some people that drink a lot of beer do get skinnier. Like if that's your diet, you're on a diet of beer. Sees his current photo isn't so bad comparable to the other. Hey, Callie, what's up? Hey, they have him in the worst prison in Indiana, so of course he's going to look rough. Everyone incarcerated looks rougher. Not hard to imagine why. Well, yeah. I mean, you're not at summer camp. Good to see you, Callie. Yeah, and I think all those fears, if he's the guy, if he had something to do with these murders, man, the pressure we've been putting on him, the pressure enforcement's been putting on him, the people of Carroll County, all of those billboards, the FBI, man, how did he make it through that? How did he get through all that pressure? Man, it was on thick. Maybe he didn't make it through the pressure. Maybe that's what got to him. There's a lot of unsolved murders that get solved just by somebody being drunk one night. You know what I mean? Really drunk, and they're like, oh, and they just kind of mumble something. Oh, that's why I killed those girls. What? What'd you say? Oh, nothing. Did you just say you killed somebody? No, I was just joking around. I thought you just said you killed girls. I don't know what I'm saying right now. Yeah, something like that. Derek says, I remember looking at a god-awful Holocaust photographs in history class. He don't look too bad. That is awful. Like he could be healthier now. A large bloated belly is seldom a sign of good health. Hey, Abby's grandma, what's up? Good to see you. Feel like I don't see you as much lately. Thanks for the super chat. Yeah, we're going to hang out probably another 20 minutes. I just wanted to talk some ish with the crew. Hey, what's up, Bird Blue? Welcome, welcome. Why do y'all think Carroll County Sheriff is the only one who doesn't want Richard Allen moved? Well, I mean, it's obvious why the sheriff wouldn't want to move. That's a responsibility he doesn't need right now. And it shouldn't be his responsibility. I mean, there was a decision that was made for a reason. He wasn't moved there just on a whim. A group of professionals got together and said, we think the best thing to do to move him here. Now, if that was the place they thought would be the best for him, it was for a reason. And it had nothing to do with Richard Allen's defense and family being able to get to him. He needs to stand trial. You can't have Richard Allen walking around where people aren't monitoring him. Not in Carroll County. Imagine the trophy that guy is. He's basically like a bowling trophy with legs in the prison. I agree with that. Yeah, thank you, Abby's grandma. Hey, Anna. How long is the drive from the house to Mears? It's like a 10-minute drive, 5-10 minute drive. I think like 7 minutes. So they got there. I can't remember what it was according to the probable cause affidavit, like 140, like 143 or something like that. And then, no, it was like 148. But we know for a fact that Kelsey, she dropped him off and then she sat in her car and she was talking to somebody on the phone for like another 5 minutes. And then she bounced. And then she was seen on the Hoosier Harvest Store camera, I think at like 147 or something like that. Don't quote me on that. Close to that. Somewhere in that range. Thanks, Olivia. Yeah, if you guys could. And if you like, I mean, if you like the video, please hit the like button. But if you don't hit it. You can actually hit the other one if you want to. But if you do like it, pop that mother. Apple says if it wasn't Richard Allen, then someone else was wearing the same outfit as him. What are the odds of that? The odds are high. If this is premeditated, very high. It might be the first thing they would do. I don't think that's what happened, though. Anna says, I think a likely scenario is that the bridge guy wanted the girls under the bridge for an obscene act. Yeah, I mean, that could explain why one of the girls was partly undressed. They resisted. He chased and was enraged. He crossed the creek. Yeah, I could see that. I could see there being a crime scene under the bridge, a chase. You know, something horrible happens out there, you know, and that's where the staging and the covering and all the weird stuff happens. Comes back, and you could switch Richard Allen places with this person. He could be either the one that did the brutality and chased Libby, and then came back and just, if the Erskine texts are correct, the second victim appears to have been done differently with like a quicker attack. 2 main stab wounds or something along those lines is what Erskine explains. Neck and heart or something. So that could be like, well, we got to silence, and then this maniac just without hesitation, you know. He's not emotionally driven by this act. This one is just out of necessity. Or that could be something that's pointing at 2 perpetrators, you know, are the 2 different types of wounds. 2 separate crime scenes with 2 separate personalities, motivated by the same thing, maybe. They can keep him safe there, assuming no single cells in the county jail, and then to have to watch him often so he doesn't hurt himself. Also, I heard that Carroll County Jail was like over, and they're not taking him to Carroll County anyway. They're taking him to, I think, an outside county. But I heard that all of those jails are overpacked anyway. Just doesn't seem like a good idea, but if it's gonna cause some kind of mistrial, I mean, shit, I don't know. It's like a catch-22. Slathering says something about those texts. One says A was placed like so and so, and another something about crawling off. Well, I wonder if they could have been placed, and then while the killer was still there, something like that happened. Maybe there was evidence that that happened while he was there. You know, two things can be true at once. Do you think they are purposefully keeping the hearing date out of public view? Yeah, I do. Especially if he's going to be coming back this way, they're going to want to keep that information on a hush hush. What is it? Vine Link? Oh, Vine Link. Is that the victim's website? Somebody shared that with me the other day. That's a pretty good site. She told me that it wasn't updated that often though, and it didn't look updated. I think it still had them in like Carroll County. June 15th was the date he was scheduled for the Bell hearing. Yeah, that's not the. They haven't scheduled anything yet. Yeah, I'm just telling you, this case is so crazy. What's up, Ruckus? Olivia says, I don't think the young sketch looks like Richard Allen at all. Just stating my opinion. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it looks like him, but it's much closer. And I'm thinking maybe in the right light. Commercial break. This is a commercial break. Yeah, that's a good point. Find the video of him shooting pool. You will be able to see the left or right. I don't recall. Yeah, the one where he's here, let me pull that up. That's a good example. Thanks for mentioning that. That's an example I like to use often. It's a good example. He in the right light, he looks really young. Yeah, so he looks different to me in this one. He looks younger there. He looks about 10, 15 years younger. Jerry says, I can't understand how people are so outraged by the recent Richard Allen stuff. We should wait for more information before the self righteousness. Why should we take his defense attorney's word at face value? Oh, you can't. It's all a bargain, it's all a salesman's game. You take more than you need, so you end up where you want to be. Charlotte Dean says, I hate to ask, but did anyone see the leaked certificates? Yeah, those are the worst fakes I've ever seen in my life. Awful. Just awful. And for somebody to put those out, shame on them. Yeah, those aren't authentic. Hey, what's up, Redfoot? I've always thought that maybe that sketch was of a potential witness, trying to get him to come forward. Like, hey, man, we know you were there. Yeah, Chris, I remember that. I remember getting mad at all my lady friends. You know, they'd be like, oh, he's almost 20 years old. I was like, what? Yeah, that was very common. I remember that happening often. Girls getting picked up by guys that like graduated years and years ago. Like, what the fuck? 2019 New Direction. What's up, Mark? Do you think they knew about Richard Allen? Yeah, I do. I think they knew about Richard Allen for a long time. I think that Robert Ives knows about Richard Allen. There was talk about, um, and he said, "Yeah, was there somebody that we were looking at, but didn't have enough?" He said that didn't happen. It doesn't mean he's being honest, because there was a story at some point. I can't remember who said it. I have to find it. Don't quote me yet on that. Um, but it basically said that they brought Robert Ives a bunch of information on a potential suspect, and it just wasn't enough to prosecute at the time. But that's probably not true. Darren Barber, what up? Salute, Sleuth. I am new to the community. Welcome, sir. Your show is on point. TK is clearly involved with child grooming and Anthony Shots profile. KK did. He and Richard Allen live in Mexico, Indiana at the same time. I'm not sure. Mexico is basically like a little suburb of Peru. And I know Richard Allen, I think he went to Peru High School, right? Did the Kleins go to Peru High School? Is that a connection there? And the only thing that connects TK really is Keegan Klein's interview with Barbara McDonald. Remember? She asks him, like, could he have been using the account? Was he using the Anthony Shots account? So if you got a problem with what I'm saying, take it up with Kagan. He said yes, his dad was using the Anthony Shots profile, according to the transcript between him and Barb. Good to have you, Darren. Welcome. Miracle Hearts. Hey, said the exact same. He's toast. Thanks, Fee. Yeah, if you guys want to go above and beyond, like a thumbs up, or which is definitely fine. You know, don't worry about becoming a member. But if you do become a member, I will go out of my way, to make sure you get some perks and something extra. But yeah, there are some people that choose to send me cash apps. Nothing crazy, but I mean, it is nice. I'll find something to do with that money, and it'll be up to you guys what we do with it. It'll be channel related. Um, Anna says, I can see how Richard Allen can be described as appearing younger than he is. Yeah, that's what we heard in the 2019 presser. Between 18 and 40, but could appear younger than his true age. So what they're saying is he could appear between 18 and 40, but he could be 50. Sometimes law enforcement has to hold your hand. Some people like to hang on to every word they say, as if it's scripture. They just hold on to it. They start and stop with it. How does anybody know if he wore jeans to work at CVS? His Walmart pick was in jeans. Let's take a look. Don't look like jeans to me. See, it's always good to come in the room waving something in your hand. Oh, yeah? Yeah, that liquid diet. That 18-pack dinner. Yeah, I don't think you can wear jeans at working at Walmart. That seems unprofessional, but I could be wrong. Maybe they're more casual. I wouldn't allow it. Glad I ain't the manager. You'd be tied up. I don't mean your hands. You'd be wearing a tie. Plan to kill someone, controlling situation of girls would have had screamed, kept them quiet. Somehow. Well, Gail, if we learn anything from the Ron Logan affidavit, which is probably nothing because it's chock filled with lies and misinformation. For instance, says the girls were dropped off at 1 p.m. That's absolutely false. We know that as a fact now. So, hey, Beach. Good to see you. Hey, I'm at about 60%. I can't complain. Let's just say natural immunity is a real thing. You're looking at it. My first go around was 14 days of hell. This go around was like 3 days of purgatory. Yeah, Cass County. There you go, Digi. Yeah, but I think he might actually be in Carroll County right now, getting ready for a hearing. Maybe it's like a secret hearing. I don't know what the hell's going on. They just better not screw this up, please. Charlie says, this is how they solved a 20-year-old child case in my hometown. Guy was drunk, bragging about killing his cousin. Yep. I was watching, I don't know. Do you guys ever search like old cold cases in and around Indiana? Like back in the early 2000s, like um 1990s. Well, one of these cases, this lady, she was all drunk and she kind of blurted out that she had killed somebody, and that got her busted like 20 years later. Hey, what's up, EO? Good to see you. All right, guys, we're going to start closing her down. I don't want to take up too much of your time. I think that was a good live stream. I think we talked enough-ish. What do you think? Ron Logan was, according to an ex-partner, a violent, controlling man. I wonder what Ron Logan would have to say about that. I don't remember him being charged with any violent crimes against women, was he? I could be wrong. And I don't want to dismiss her story, but just as much as she could be saying he did that, she could be making it up. People are crazy. And that's not to discount anything that she's, anything that might have happened to her. But if you can't have somebody stand up for themselves, I mean, and I'm pretty sure, I think he might have been cleared of all that stuff, guys. He wrote this huge letter to the ACLU and everything. Like he tried to sue Carroll County for what they did to him. And it's kind of weird, if you go out seeking all these people that are talking shit about Ron Logan. Like that doesn't seem legal to me in the first place. Like, why would that even be? That shouldn't even be in a probable cause affidavit. Hearsay? Like, yeah, that doesn't seem legit. Because, I mean, I've seen instances where people were like being bothered by somebody in public. And when those people don't do what they're asked, you're not supposed to tell people what to do in public, right? This is America. That's the thing. That's a great thing about the United States is freedom of speech and our right to travel without being messed with, So these people would call the police on them. And during the call, they'd be like, oh, they're threatening my life, so that law enforcement will show up with guns blazing and maybe even hurt these people. Like, that's sick to me. That is some sick shit. There's no compassion. Like, I don't expect men or want them to be like emotional or anything, but I mean, at least have some kind of understanding, about your fellow man. A lady says, I believe if he killed them, he would be charged for that. He got where they needed to be. Oh, he got them where they needed to be. I believe many were involved. I believe Ron Logan was involved. And he could be. There's just, I don't see anything. I mean, I do see some things that lean towards Ron Logan being involved, but nothing solid. It's just that pancake stuff that people try to put on the family, that people try to put on Tony Klein, that people try to put on Julian Powell. People tried to put on Daniel Pearson. people that try to pile on to Cody Patty, maybe even sometimes Mike Patty. It's a pancake effect. You're trying to build a Tower of Babel that reaches the heavens, and then you'll accept, this is it. I was right. Look at what I built. I'm God now. If Richard Allen talks right now after his attorney suggests he is basically being tortured, I wonder yeah, it's really scary. And one of the live streams we did last week, we talked about some of the leading causes of a mistrial. And the thing is, they have to be telling the truth first. If what they're saying is correct, yes, then we have some issues. But they have to be telling the truth. And that part hasn't been proven. Like his attorneys are all of a sudden like health experts. Like, what the hell? Like, who falls for that shit? But I think none of that mattered anyway. I think the point was to get that picture out there. I told you, I typed in Richard Allen, boom. It was just him looking like me in the car that one day when I seized up and shit. Looking all pathetic. And just before that, he was looking like this shit. Like, what is this? Is that just a collared shirt? Hey, what's up, Glitter? How you doing? All right, let me try to catch up on these comments and we're going to bounce. Oh, that's what I was going to say. I totally got sidetracked. I don't think they ran, but if we learned anything from the Ron Logan affidavit, there was no signs of a fight or a struggle. So, I mean, if that was right, yeah, I'll see you guys on channel 2. But if you're easily triggered, don't go there. It's a whole different atmosphere. Duke Nukem, or it could be 2 different killers, 2 different type of killers. One more of an overkiller, one more of a quick style, get it done fast. Yeah, that's what I'm wondering. You have these awful wounds on one, which make it appear personal. And then you have wounds on the other that are very efficient. So you have somebody who seems to be almost a crime of passion or enjoying it in a sadistic way. And the other person is saying, okay, we got to commit this crime for whatever our motivation is. I'm going to get it done efficiently and quickly, and I'm out of here. I don't know what the hell you're doing over there, but I'm out of here. All right, guys, we're going to start shutting it down. Spend another 5 minutes in the chat.
Blood money went by the name
Great
of...
here.
Yeah, thanks, Glitter. I'm down to about 185. Still doing push-ups. Your body's a lot easier to pick up when it's 20 pounds lighter, you know what I mean? Yeah, that's gross. I mean, guys were no better. They were trying to date older women too. It wasn't just the girls. Went both ways. Hey, Karen. Yeah, if you're catching the replay, drop me a comment. I'll get back to you. You got it, Darren. Thanks for stopping by and checking us out, man. Hope to see you again. Yeah, R&B. Let me read this. I'm gonna turn this down a little bit. R&B says that video of Richard Allen facing in the pool hall shows a strong, quick, explosive man. He could have physically done the killings alone. I mean, it's possible. And yeah, what I saw was a lot of built up energy, right? Like he had all this built up energy and he's just like letting it out in this weird expression. All right, guys, that's all the time I have for you. I'll catch you on channel 2 later. Thanks for hanging out. Peace out, guys.